Like many of you, I didn't expect to see LT Overton out on the injury report. And like many of you, I don't know why.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network. Luke Robinson, that's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein, that's him. We want to thank you every day for being here every day, because you know why? You have made Locked On the #1 sports podcast network there is, and we're a part of that sports podcast network because of you. You guys are great Americans and foreigners. We'll take everybody. We'll take un-Americans. We don't care. We want you to love Alabama or hate Alabama, or just watch. We really don't have a lot of boundaries. So Jimmy, I'm sitting here just going about my day, waiting on Clemson, Bama basketball. We get the injury report because you and I were very interested in this injury report. We were like, I wonder what Jam Miller's going to be on the injury. I wonder what Josh Cuevas is going to be on the injury report. Well, we see them, and then sort of just like on there is LT Overton out. And what's weird, obviously their rumors abound. We don't know. I have called around, you have called around, nobody knows yet as of 9:34 this morning.
Well, we don't know yet. We don't know yet, but
no, we don't
know. We don't know. But early. I mean, I know rumors and I know stories, but nothing to talk about because it's not.
Well, my question is this, though. My question is this. Because we've heard rumors just like everybody else, and I'm not trying to spread one. I'm just addressing one. That some folks have said, this may not be injury related. Mm-hmm. And my thought on that is, if it's not injury related, then he wouldn't be on the injury report as out. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
It's not an injury report. Drake Kirkpatrick is listed on there as out, and we all know he's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really an availability report. And I've seen this talked about in some places just to clear that up. This is about availability for the game. Mm-hmm. It's not even really an injury report. An injury report is what Jeff Allen has every morning when he comes into his office. And it's about how many kids he has to treat in the training room. We don't see that list. There are far more kids dinged up than are put on this list. The list is only about availability for the game, and there are rules you have to follow. So when you're listed as out, you're out. If your list is questionable, that means we're informing y'all that this player might not be available for Saturday. We don't know yet. And actually, I thought the availability report had some good news on it. The fact that Jam Miller and Josh Cuevas are questionable means they might play. They're not definitely out. The fact Parker Brailsford wasn't on the list at all is shocking. That means, per the coaches, as of today, there's no question in their mind that Parker Brailsford will be available for the game Saturday. That's good news. But the LT Overton thing is shocking. In terms of like, wow, we didn't see that coming, to go from he must not have gotten dinged. They just say out. So because he's out and he didn't have a previous injury that was known, I think that's where the speculation goes wild, and where we hear stories, and I've heard 3 or 4 different ones, and they're all sort of different. So I'm not going to come here and say any of them because I don't know what's true. I'm certainly not going to spread something that's not. And so right now I'm going to say LT Overton is injured and out until we hear differently.
I'm channeling my inner Lloyd Christmas when you talk about, hey, I was glad to see questionable for Cuevas and Miller. So you're telling me there's a chance.
Here's just a guess on my part. And now this is irresponsible. It's a guess. I'll be surprised if Cuevas and Jam Miller play Saturday. I'll be surprised. But the fact that they're listed as questionable and not out, I mean, that's a better source than me guessing. I just have a hard time believing Jam Miller and Josh Cuevas will be healthy enough to play. But I'm not Jeff Allen. I'm not in the training room and not the doctors, and don't have that information. I'm just saying, based on what little I do know, I'll just be surprised.
Yeah. Now, so the whole list, and a lot of these we already knew. Cam Howard out. I mean, he's been out. Jamarian Latham been out. Drake Kirkpatrick. We don't know what in the world's going to happen there. LT Overton is where you go, oh. I mean, and what's sneaky about it, it's not even listed alphabetically. It's just sort of tucked in there in the middle. Kevin Riley out. Mal Waldrop out. And maybe it is. No, it's not alphabetical. It's definitely not alphabetical. Okay. Jeremiah Beeman out. We knew that makes it not alphabetical. But Kam Dewberry, questionable. Also sort of, oh, God.
That's news. That's new.
Yeah.
Although, I think he's been banged up a couple times this year. That's new. And I'll put that one on the bad news because that was sort of not expected. And gosh, with Brailsford, Brailsford's not on this list, which is good news, but he's clearly not 100%.
100%.
He was gimpy against Auburn, even spent part of the Auburn game on the exercise bike. So it's doubtful that he went from that to, oh, he's 100%. So he's going to be banged up already. And with Dewberry, clearly, if he plays, banged up. And you hope everybody's. We'll talk about Georgia's list too, because certainly a couple of names that are big there. But Alabama is outpacing Georgia on the availability report. A lot more names in Crimson than there are in the red and black.
Yeah, and Ty Simpson, while not on the report, I know everybody's going to say Luke's sources trust me, bro, but trust me, bro. He is more banged up than you think, and it is clear as day. And he is getting some heat from the national media. I listened to some national stuff this morning driving to Greensboro, Alabama. Shout out to Greensboro, Alabama, and back that. They're like, he's just missing this and he's missing that. And he is less accurate. It's because he's dealing with more injuries that are not on this list necessarily. Like you're talking about, the training staff knows about them, but we don't know about them. So what I'm saying is, if you're an Alabama fan and you're mad at Ty Simpson for missing some of these things or regressing a little bit, yes, he has regressed. No, you shouldn't be mad. He's playing through it.
No, that's exactly right. And once you get to this time of year, it's not like it should be a newsflash. I mean, you've played 11 college football games, 8 of them SEC games.
Yeah.
There's probably no one that's 100%. I mean, it's tough this time of the year. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if someone said, well, Gunnar Stockton's kind of banged up. He's playing through some things. Yeah, I bet he is. So you just survive and advance this time of the year. And I think that's a big thing for Alabama. Saturday, obviously you can lose and you're probably still in the playoff, and that's good that you put yourself in that position. But sure would be nice to win and shut up a lot of these national experts that were upset about Alabama and Notre Dame switching spots. That's what would be so fun about winning Saturday, because like, y'all still trying to keep us out now.
Want to talk about the Georgia availability report for just a second, but again, listening to some national narratives today, the angst wasn't so much around Alabama and Notre Dame switching spots, because I do believe people came to the conclusion, hey, we wouldn't have been mad about this if they had done it 2 or 3 weeks ago. So while it looks bad doing it now, they did just correct the mistake, which is something you and I have been saying for weeks. So that's all they did. I mean, there's
the very first ranking, me and you were on air upset about being behind Notre Dame. The first ranking, first week, we're like, this isn't right.
Well, there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. But sometimes when you do the right thing after doing a series of wrong things, people are like, oh, so wait a minute, you were doing all this wrong stuff before? But you got to deal with it. And the problem is the way the committee handled it, the way the committee came out and, they do all their 6-7 jokes and they talk about putting on these white hats, and all they got to do is say, we had a market correction. We understood. We dove into this a little more and figured out, oh, we screwed that up. So we fixed it. That's the bottom. I think everybody could live with that except Notre Dame fans. Now, the Georgia availability report, also not perfect. I'm going to be honest with you. Only a few of these names I think are actual true contributors. Drew Bobo, the center, being out is a big deal.
Big. It's huge.
That's big.
That's huge for them. And he's out. And my understanding is they're going to play either a true freshman or do musical chairs and, move a guard to center or that sort of thing.
Either way, good news for Alabama. Colby Young, who is a good receiver, he's out.
I think he's been out, but he's still out, and that's big. Colby Young had some big catches against Alabama in that first game. I was shocked to find yesterday that I don't think Zachariah Branch, who had like a big play on a reverse, I don't think Zachariah Branch caught a ball against Alabama in the first matchup. That's really shocking considering he's a high volume receiver. He's caught a lot of balls this year. He is by far their leading receiver in terms of number of receptions, but I don't think he had a reception against Alabama, which is strange. You can bet that won't be the case on Saturday. But no, them not having Colby Young is huge because beyond Zachariah Branch, they're not great at wide receiver. They're okay, like Noah Thomas, good player for sure, but not a game wrecker. They've really only got one outside. The problem is that they've got two tight ends that can make plays, and of course, both backs are really good players.
Yep, totally agree. And then they've got three other guys that are listed as out, but I don't think any of them are like big time contributors or they've been out for a while. What is interesting, they don't have anybody listed as doubtful, questionable, probable. I mean, it's like out or in. I mean, with Georgia.
Yeah, I wonder if they have a different philosophy of, see, this is the first availability report. You put one out every day, and the last one is Saturday. Obviously, that's the one that you can get in serious trouble for, is the final one on Saturday. If someone's out, you list them as out, then they're not going to play in the game. But I'm wondering if there are questionable, but they just want to know more, and there's no requirement that someone's questionable be listed today because, you're getting closer to the game. So what I'm saying is I bet Georgia's availability report might include a couple of questionable players as it gets closer to Saturday, whoever they may be.
New sponsor alert, Aura Frames. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap, it's a way to share memories. Because the Aura frame isn't your average picture frame, you can preload the frame with photos before gifting it. So when they plug it in, the memories are already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. Look, your grandparents will love it. Your parents will love it. Newlyweds, anyone who loves photos, that's everybody. Endless uploads of pictures and 30-second videos through the Aura app. And it's personalized. Add a personalized message right inside of the frame so the gift feels thoughtful the moment it's opened. It's a holiday gift that actually gets used. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting Aura Frames. It's AURA frames.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code COLLEGE. That's just the word college at checkout. That's AURAframes.com. Promo code COLLEGE. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Please mention Locked On Bama at checkout. We'd appreciate you. Terms and conditions apply because they apply to everything. But Aura Frames, where you want to go to get them frames.
You know how
you think
everybody likes frames? Frames are a great Christmas gift. I mean, that is a great gift for Christmas. Everybody likes frames. But if you say, I've been framed, that's bad.
Yeah, that is
weird.
Bad.
We need a different word for that because it detracts away from frames, which are quite popular.
Nah, that's very, the word frame, like, it's like, hey, what'd we do?
Exactly.
All right. So, Jimmy, talking a little more about the recruiting signing day yesterday. Still waiting on Bryson Cooley. That'll probably go down tomorrow. That could be one of 4 teams. It sounds like Alabama, LSU, Mississippi State, Mississippi. What are your thoughts there?
I'll be a little surprised if it's Alabama. I think the farther it got away from I think Wednesday was going to be Alabama, and he changed his mind again. He's obviously really, and I think it's because, hey, you're committed to LSU and a certain coaching staff, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And the new staff, you were being recruited by them at Ole Miss, sort of, but now they're at LSU, and the kids from Mississippi. I think at one point, Alabama was a big favorite for him at one point. I think he kind of reverted back to that when his LSU situation changed. But he's visited Mississippi State, and he's visited Ole Miss. Some of those guys are still there. And so anyway, I'm not sure what he's going to do. I'll just say right now, I'll be a little surprised if it's Alabama. Not shocked, because I do think Alabama was his favorite at one point. So I won't be shocked, but a little surprised.
Let me say this. Do you mind if I say something that's kind of in the realm of jackassery?
Don't frame me.
No, it's not framing you. But you said something in there that is, it's only a pet peeve of mine because it was a pet peeve of my uncle's. And I'll give you two things. You said revert back. You don't revert back. You revert.
Just revert.
If you revert back, you go back to the other thing that was before you revert. I mean, it's like
that's like
double negative.
I went 360 degrees instead of 180.
Or you went 190 degrees, as my friend once said.
You're right.
So, and then my uncle used to always say this. God bless his soul. He used to say, a bartender would come up, may I get you another one? He'd say, don't ever say, can you get me another one? That implies I've had too many, or I've had several before this. He said, just may I get you a drink? And that is very polite. But the irony is, people who say that usually have had too many, right? I mean, nobody thinks of that unless you're drunk.
See, if you say another one, I mean, that's two things too, right? Another, because you can just say, would you like another? You don't have to say, would you like another one?
No, he just said, would you like a drink? Because another does imply you've already had one. And again, the great irony would be, I'm surprised they didn't say, hey, can I bring you another 12 beers?
Yeah, that's a little sensitive.
All right. So Brian Williams did flip from Alabama to Auburn, as several Auburn sites will let you know, flip. But I mean, again, it's going to sound like sour grapes. Alabama wasn't going to have him in this class. He was going to flip to South Florida.
That's right. He was going to flip somewhere. He just wasn't going to sign with Alabama. And again, for people that, I mean, and it's okay that no one understands all the stuff. For me and Luke live in it every day. That's why but when you're on the commitment list, that does not mean you're currently committed. That just means you've made a public commitment, a public announcement, and since then you haven't made another. It's been well known to anybody that follows Alabama football recruiting since October that Brian Williams wasn't going to be signed with Alabama. He just remained on the commitment list because he hadn't made a public announcement. Again, the commitment list is a public announcement list. Until you make another public announcement, you stay on the list, even when the moderators or people that run the website are telling you this isn't going to happen. So, no, he didn't choose Auburn over Alabama. Even though he was on the Alabama commitment. That's not true. Does it matter? Not really. And this kid's a good player. This part's true. At one point, Alabama was very sold on Brian Williams and wanted him to be a part of this class. At one point, that is true. And that means, among other things, he's clearly a good prospect. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised when Auburn lands good football players. Of course they do. They're in the SEC. They spend a lot of money. Golish is a good coach, I think. We shouldn't be surprised when Auburn signs good players.
No, I totally agree. I just look at it like this isn't a Perry Thompson deal, which, by the way, Perry Thompson hadn't done what I thought Perry Thompson was going to do. I thought he'd be really good. And he might be eventually. But anyway, any other recruiting stuff out there you just want to get off your chest? Because I do want to give you something. The odds came out for national championship winners, and I think it's kind of interesting. So I want to talk about that. But if you have any more recruiting stuff, throw it out there.
Just say that there's video out there of Courtney Morgan and Bob Welton discussing how recruiting classes are built and how Alabama builds their classes. It's hugely educational for everyone.
Was that on Yay Alabama? Because I saw it this morning. Was that a Yay Alabama thing?
Some of it's yes. It's a Yay Alabama thing. So not everybody's going to have full access to it, but it's fantastic. I wouldn't say that I so much learned a lot so much as it reinforced just how Alabama does things, and it's very smart. It's very well thought out, and it all makes perfect sense. There's just a lot of fans like, you only signed 20 guys and think that that's some sort of failure on their part, when, as they explain, it's absolutely not true. It mostly has to do with money. I hope people aren't surprised to hear that.
Well, and it still is hard for a lot of people to wrap their heads around. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it. I mean, you and I addressed it yesterday where somebody tweeted when Owen Cabell flipped, and somebody said, well, Vanderbilt offered more money. And he said, well, what are we, poor? It's not that. It's like, look, you might have a condo on the beach, and somebody is like, I mean, I got all the money in the world, but I don't want to pay $800,000 for that. And somebody else comes around and goes, I've been dying for this, my lifelong dream to have a condo on the beach. I'll pay $850.
Okay, It's one. Let's say you have $100. You have $100. That's what you have. You have $100. You don't have 101. You have $100. You got to spend it on high school recruiting, the transfer portal, and retention of the roster. So how are you going to divide up your $100? That's all there is. That's all you can spend by rule, by law. That's all there is. And Alabama's got as much as anybody. How are you going to allocate it between roster retention, the transfer portal, and high school recruiting? So there's a certain budget that they have for high school recruiting. They can't go over it. They can't, Owen Cabell or whoever can't come to them and say, I need a little more money. The budget is the budget. And they talk about that, about asset allocation, what goes to what and what bucket. And you can tell that their primary thing is roster retention. It's more important to them to keep, let's say, Bray Hubbard and Keon Sabb than it is to sign a high school player. But their second priority is high school player. Their final priority is the portal. I mean, they make that clear in terms of how they allocate the money. Roster retention first, high school recruiting second, the portal third.
And again, yeah, you can check out at least a lot of that interview. I don't know about the whole thing, but I checked out a lot of it on Twitter when our friend of the program, Goat, I think it's Goat Latia, because it's Goat _LATIA. It could be Goat.
It's Latia. It's Latia. Her name is Latia.
Okay, maybe it's Goat Latia.
Yeah, Goat, like greatest of all time, Latia. And
Here,
she goes by Tia.
Leave it to me.
Leave
it to me to try to make it fancier. Yeah, but Latia is actually very fancy, by the way. I love that.
Her friends call her Tia.
Latia is a French word. You know this, right?
I'm not surprised. You have French.
I do. I have very French extensive knowledge. It means the Tia.
Ah, okay. There you go.
I do that when everybody has a duh or a lie in front of their name. Yeah. Either way.
Yeah, she's a good follow on Twitter for those of you.
She is, and she tells it like it is.
Knows her stuff.
Don't challenge her unless you have hardcore facts, because she will embarrass you. All right, let's talk a little FanDuel right now, because I love FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, the defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantaneously. Players, props, update as guys heat up, all that stuff. So if you want to be in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com. Don't be a sucker. Go to FanDuel.com and place your NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast. So can you. Okay. Alabama basketball last night. Nice win over Clemson.
Oh, yeah.
But because I want to make sure I get all this in, I want to say this first, and we can talk about the game. There was some Clemson staffer or some Clemson something put out a sort of a negative review essentially of Alabama's crowd last night. Now I'm gonna find it, and as soon as I do, I'm gonna tell you what it is, and I can't find it. That's okay.
I know what you're talking about. I saw it.
So he said something essentially like, "Hey, Alabama." There were only 100 Clemson people there last night, and it felt like they made more noise than the Alabama crowd. That's pretty embarrassing. I'm going to say this, and I say this with love, and I say this, and I'm not trying to admonish anybody or be better than thou, because I wasn't at the game last night because I had in-laws come in town. I had to go to dinner with them, and also my daughter's got some kind of basketball practice with the Mambas, whatever they are. So he's not wrong. I watched. I didn't get to even see the whole game. I got to watch a lot of it on my phone. When I came home, I was able to see the end. But as soon as the game tipped off, I saw pretty good many empty seats right there in the front, and I thought to myself, that is embarrassing. We got to do better. I know that there's some Alabama fans out there that just won't embrace any other sport except football. I'm not talking to y'all. I can't change y'all's mind. I'm talking to the Alabama fans that love all things Bama, want them all to be good. They feel like it engulfs the whole thing, right? Go to the games. I mean, go to this Clemson game. Clemson's good. This wasn't some dump truck team that pulled up. They were 7-1. They're a quad one win, and we just should have. It didn't have to be packed out. I get it. It's Wednesday at 6:15. It's tough to get to Tuscaloosa. I get it. A lot of people's got stuff going on right after Thanksgiving, right before Christmas. I get it. I had stuff going on, but the people that own the seats right there in the front, make sure somebody goes. And I'm going to say this too, that I'm going to ask Greg Byrne. I think Greg Byrne's son, I'm pretty sure his son listens to the show because I've seen Greg and he's talked about it. And Greg's my athletic director of all time. I love him. I love him. I've seen him everywhere. I see him just about everywhere I go, and I love him. And my ask of him would be this. Hey, maybe talk to Brian Passink, my buddy, who's a great American, who has played at Alabama, is a student in Alabama. He's been on the sideline reporter job, and he's now the color commentator. Brian Passink has played, loved, lived, and seen a lot of basketball in a lot of places. Maybe ask him, and I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, I'm trying to elevate him. Maybe ask him, say, hey, what could we do to change some things? You've seen basketball everywhere. What could we do to make sure we have more crowd involvement? That would be, I think, a good question. I'm not saying maybe he's done that. Maybe he has done that. I mean, Greg Byrne's a smart dude. I mean, he doesn't need me to tell him anything.
I like the idea of, here's just one idea, because they already, I believe, do it at the women's games. And that's, there comes a certain point on the clock. If there's 10 minutes to go in the first half, 10 minutes, everybody move down to empty seats. Move down, move closer to the court. It looks better on TV. The people can move seats into the expensive seats. If someone shows up and says, this is my seat, I paid for it, well, then you got to move.
Yeah.
But I think just a general idea of, hey, everyone get closer, crowd the court, and it'll look better on TV, but also be, polite enough that when someone shows up that has a ticket for that seat, you got to move back out of it and move back to where you were. But I like just telling people it's okay to move closer to the court once you've reached like the 10-minute mark of the first half, when it's clear that most likely that person's not coming to fill that seat.
In that same vein, right after the Bama game was the Auburn game. They were playing NC State. It's essentially the same two teams playing that were playing in the Alabama game. And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, Auburn's got a good crowd for that. But Auburn has done something really smart. When they showed a different angle of the crowd, like almost a floor level looking up, you could see there were plenty of empty seats, but Auburn's got it where everybody's in the front. And for us, it just looks like it's too comfortable. I'm a big dude. I know that I don't like the middle seat of an airplane. I don't like the middle seat of a football game. But when we're playing Clemson or we're playing Purdue or playing whoever, y'all get there. And I'm trying not to act like, I'm holier than thou, because I miss a lot of games. But I'm just saying, if I had season tickets, if I did, I would give them to people who would go. I mean, yeah, try and sell them if I could. But if it's like especially even if it's a Clemson game and I'm like, look, I can't, please take these. Promise me you'll go. And if they do that, this Nate Oats is a superstar. And we have him. And I don't want to lose him. I love him.
I don't think there'll be empty seats at all once the conference games start. I do
Agreed.
think time of the week, holidays, students. I'm not sure where we're at with finals going. Either finals are going on or about to happen or just happened. But the student section looked pretty good to me last night. By the way, that Clemson
they were.
There are 100 fans made more noise. No, Alabama student section sort of showed up and was pretty. I wouldn't say it's loud on TV, but what that Clemson guys, I didn't think it translated to TV myself. I didn't notice that it was bad. I did notice all the empty seats, but again,
he was just hyperbolic.
I think Wednesdays, 6:00 during football. I mean, football's not over.
Yeah.
And the high school state championship games going on, that sort of thing. So I wasn't that overly concerned about it, but no doubt, hey, if you love Alabama basketball, support this program. It's never been better. It's
Never.
never been better. We beat a 7-1 ACC team with, in my opinion, 2 of our best 3 players not even dressed out.
I totally agree. Now,
my
let's
opinion,
get to that.
there are
I
top
want people.
3 players are Philon, Reitzel, and Holloway. And Reitzel and Holloway didn't even dress out, and we still beat a 7-1 Clemson basketball team, a team that I think was in the Elite 8 not too long ago.
Playing us.
Yeah.
So now
that's why I knew they were there.
I want to say this, that again, I don't want people to think I'm just, slapping hands over here. I'm saying this because I love this basketball program, and I think there are a lot of people out there too. And I know it's tough, but I'm just saying, please get there and support it. Man, one thing I did notice last night, I'll say this, even during dinner with my in-laws, I had the game on my thigh while we were eating dinner, and they were like, "What are you looking down at?" I was like, "I'm watching the game. I'm sorry. I'm not really worried about what you're talking about." So that I was trying to be committed, but Lebaron Philon is that dude. He's just that dude, Jimmy. And holy cow, is he fun to watch. So I would soak this up if I were y'all, because he is a dude.
He won't be here much longer. He won't be here much longer. I mean, he has a game that just screams NBA to me, and he has improved the outside shot. I think he's worked on things the NBA wanted him to work on. I still think Nate wants him to be a better two-way player, a better defender. But man, he can just flat out take over a basketball game, even at the highest level. And you can tell when he's feeling it and he just wants the ball. You're like, man, we could just do ISO with Philon the rest of this game and win it. I mean, but he's phenomenal, and he's fun to watch. And I challenged him via this show the first week of the season. Go be the best player in this league. Go be the best player in this league. He's making a run at it.
Mission accomplished. Now,
making a run at it anyway.
It's funny that you say this, because I think you're right about the defensive thing, that he could be maybe a little better on that end. But when I think LeBaron Philon, the first thing I think of is last year's Auburn game when he picked Tahad Pettiford's pocket in overtime. And like that sort of sealed the deal. It wasn't the sealing bucket, but it sort of like made me think, oh God, we're going to win this. But the game moves so slowly for him. I mean, it's like he's the Flash, where in those scenes in or Quicksilver in X-Men where everybody's moving slow and Quicksilver's moving at normal speed, so it looks like he's moving faster. That's what it looks like. He's just got this ability to have these hesitated jumps that are crazy good. His whole game is a bunch of Euro steps that don't make sense. Meanwhile, Amari Allen, shout out Amari Allen, way to start, way to be a badass.
He's a baller.
He might be one and done.
He's a baller to me. I mean, he's a winner. He fills the stat sheet. With Amari Allen, what I like about him is it's not just scoring. There's nothing on the court he's not doing. He brings a juice. He's easy to like. He is a mature player. He doesn't play like a freshman. I mean, he's just a real mature player out there. He's going to be great. I think he will play pro basketball, whether it be after one and done, I don't know, but he looks like a future pro basketball player to me.
I thought Nate Oats said something kind of funny last night. I don't think he meant it as a joke. He said, look, if Aiden Sherrill had made his free throws and one more bucket, I mean, he's 2 blocks away from a triple double. But then you look at the stat line, he was like 5 points, 8 blocks, and 10 rebounds. And you're like, okay, by that same token, Aiden Holloway, who didn't play, was only 10 points, 10 assists, and 10 steals away from a triple double. So I thought that was a reach.
You can say almost a triple double when you didn't get there in 2 of the 3.
Yeah, get the double, then we'll talk.
At least get there in 2 of the 3 before we bring that up. But
he barely had a single double.
I heard that while Nate Oats was talking about that very fact to the media, that Aiden Sherrill was already back in the empty Coleman Coliseum shooting free throws.
Yeah, Aiden Sherrill really is coming on. And here's a guy, I mean, he could obviously go pro, I suppose, but it wouldn't shock me if he came back another year too. And man, getting him back would be fantastic.
Tell him, I think the story of Charles Bediako would serve him well. I think if Bediako would play one more year at Alabama, it would have worked out better. I mean, stay, don't go to the NBA where you think, well, they're really going to develop me up there. They need a finished product up there. Yeah. Become a finished product at Alabama Don't go to the NBA and think some team's going to just develop you while you sit at the end of the bench. No, they're going to send you to the G League or Europe.
Doesn't that sound like a sort of a Polish bedtime story, like the legend of the Bediako?
I think Bediako's, just my personal opinion, Bediako's career worked out better had he stayed one more year at Alabama.
Oh, 100%.
And developed. I mean, it's that's why I love college sports. It's a developmental age. It's not the finished product. It's not what you see is what you get. We watch these kids improve year to year. Is a lot of the fun for me is that fact. But don't go to the NBA until you're a finished product.
All right, that's going to do it for today's podcast. We'll be back tomorrow with the prediction show. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll tide.